to share the love of God, not a religion, not a denomination, but the love of God. And I realized that is to share the love of God is not just words. Being in a community is you understand the needs and the strugglings and the issues. So what should I do? I understand that as leaders, we have to be very focusing and have a target and everything. But at some point, I like to have a comprehensive view of the things. And if I can help, but also if I can be a bridge between the need and resources, why not?
Valentin, we finally got you in the studio.
Hi, guys. Finally, I'm here. Thank you for the invitation.
So Valentin has become a dear friend. We both came into Bitcoin, or at least Bitcoin as far as how we use it in our projects, along a similar path. He was and still is in Peru as a missionary. And that's, some of you guys know that's what brought our family down to El Salvador was as missionaries and working with the church here. And so both of us have found that Bitcoin is a really remarkable tool for working in the communities, for alleviating poverty, and kind of not just like on a temporary basis, but helping kind of get to the root causes of, what is been like decades and centuries of pain and dysfunction in some of these societies, and seeing how when you bring Bitcoin in, it's not the end all be all, it's not like some magic bullet, but it's a great tool that helps people understand money and finance for the first time. And the reality is that those are issues that, that really you can't separate anything from. Some people think like, oh, you should be focused on, just spiritual things. And it's like, well, if people are hungry and people are suffering, you also have to, see if you can help them with their physical needs too. And so Bitcoin's given us a remarkable ability to do that. And what's amazing about what Valentin is doing in Peru is it's not just in one location like we've done here in Bitcoin Beach, but they have more than a dozen locations that they're working in. So we went to visit them, and we couldn't see them all because you got to actually get in planes to go from one location to the next. And so they're working in the jungles, they're working in the Andes, and then around Lima, and we were there for a week, and we could really hit the Lima area. So I will quit talking now because I want to allow you to give a little bit of your backstory, your history, what brought you to Peru, and how you came into the Bitcoin space.
Thank you, Mike, for having me here. I always apologize for my basic English. As you mentioned, my name is Valentin Popescu. I'm from Romania originally, and I came to South America 25 years ago. I've been 7 years in Argentina. And
what brought you to South America?
Well, in 1998, I was invited to a summer camp, and there I found peace with God. I found hope through Jesus, and I knew it that God called me to invest my life, bringing hope to others, serve, and but I needed a place where I can grow, where I can be prepared for that. So I was invited to be part of a camp in Argentina called Word of Life. So I've been there for 4 years and a half.
Hey guys, just a brief interruption. We'll get back to the exciting show here, but I just want to really ask a favor that you guys could make sure that you're subscribed if you're watching this on YouTube. If you are listening to this on a podcast, please take a second and review this. You know, you don't even have to write a lengthy review or anything at all. Just click the number of stars that you want to give us. It really helps us in the algorithms to make sure people are finding out about what's happening here. All right, back to the show.
I was traveling in the country, doing a lot of work, drug preventions, shows, but also learn about the Word of God. And well, after I finished my time there in the Bible Institute, the question was, okay, what should I do? Should I come back to Europe or not? And I had the peace to keep staying in South America. I realized that South America or Latin America, it's my home. It's my new home. I found here passion to serve. I learned how to care about others. I thought I was caring about others, but actually I was kind of a very selfish, thinking just for my needs. And I really understand that God lead our step. When I mean our, because I met my wife. She's from Peru. We never thought I would get to Peru, actually. I was very fan of Argentina, but then
And she was in Argentina also, right? Studying
yes.
at the same
Yes.
seminary where you were at?
Yes, in the institute, I met her. We had a relation of 3 years and a half, almost 4, and we get married in 2005. And then we come back to serve as missionaries, collaborating there in Word of Life. But unfortunately, I had a problem in my back. I broke my back. I had a hernia. And God opened the doors to go to Lima to have a surgery. And when I get to Lima, the missionary that we was working with, he died in a car accident. My wife was one of the secretaries, and I was managing the U.S. groups there, and he died. And in the same week, we lost the support, like 90% of the support, because the person that supported us, he died. He passed away, and I really was stuck on the house of my mother-in-law in Peru, and I understood that God wants me there. I mean, like, all the closed doors, and I understand, okay, I have to learn not another language, but another culture. And then I discovered that Peru, it's not just Lima. People think that Peru is just Machu Picchu and Lima, which is not. Tremendous country, many cultures. So I understand that God take me from a safe place, kind of a bubble where we was living, and starting from zero, and trying to show the love of God to others through other ways, not just camps or theater or dramas or sports events. And yeah, that happened. I was involved in social programs during the country in many places, and we was trying to, as you was mentioned, to share the love of God, not a religion, not a denomination, but the love of God. And I realized that is to share the love of God is not just words. Being in a community is you understand the needs and the strugglings and the issues. So what should I do? I understand that as leaders, we have to be very focusing and have a target and everything. But at some point, I like to have a comprehensive view of the things. And if I can help, but also if I can be a bridge between the need and resources, why not? I discovered that in Peru, unfortunately, there are many places where the resources are not getting, not just because there is enough logistic or something, it's just because there is no one who connect. And I realized that if I be just working in sound system or being a logistic, I I have to be like very neutral in all the things. And I said, okay, I'm there to be useful, a tool. And my prayer every time is, God, lead my steps. Every leader needs to be a guide. And we use Waze, we use Google Map to get from the point A to point B. But our ways as a leader have to be the creator. And this is what we embrace as in leadership, and looking for always for tools also to be efficient. And yeah, this is what I was doing during this time until 2020 in Peru.
So I know you guys were working in a number of different communities, and then our friend Rich had come down and had brought some teams down to, I think, build playgrounds. I think with Kids Around the World was an organization. I think that's where you guys connected. And then I believe it was Rich that kind of connected you with the opportunity of like, hey, let's start using Bitcoin in these community initiatives that we're doing. And so I'm curious as to, or maybe if I missed something in the story or there's something different, please correct it. But yeah, and they're just curious as to what you thought at that point when that was brought to you.
It's interesting that when we are thinking about tools to use we are like, okay, God provide, looking for, but sometimes there are tools that we never think about or thought about that to use, or people. So, like as I said, I was collaborating with many organizations. I said, I can be a hub for you guys. You don't need to have an office with me or something. So I met these guys from Kids Around the World, amazing organization. They was sending food and playgrounds, and they said, so each playground have to be installed by a group. So they invited me to be part of the first installation in Argentina. So I went there, I saw the whole dynamic. So I met a guy from Chile who lives in Hawaii. He's a great surfer. He has a school there. And he said, look, I've always dreamed to come to Peru. And I said, we may click together. And I said, I'm waiting you. So in 3 months, you come and you go to the Cusco, and then you present me the waves. I don't surf. And he said, I will teach you. Well, I've surfed between hamburgers and ceviche, raw fish. And they called me and I said, look, he's not coming. Luis is not coming. I'll send another guy. And I was really very mad. I tried. I did as much I can that Rich not come to Peru. And I realized that I lose time. I have to just wait Rich. But when Rich came, he came alone. He didn't show up with a big group. And I said, man, this is a suicide mission. I mean, like, we failed. 2 people. I mean, I'm a guy from Lima. You know, Cusco is very high altitude, 4,000 meters.
And these are big playgrounds. These are ones that they've pulled out of like public parks or something in the U.S. They recondition them.
Yes.
They ship them overseas. I know we put one up in Zonte here, and it was, I think we had a team of, I don't know, like 15, and it took us like several days to put it together.
Yes, and I was like, this is a joke. And I realized after that why that happening. That's another story. So he said, look, we have a mission, a target. I'm ex-military, ex-LAPD, so we're done. And okay, we went there. I'm the people that knows me from US, they call me Plan B, Mr. Plan B. I know that in US, it's not very common, the Plan B. But in Latin America, you need to have kind of a Plan B if something show up. So I said, I need Plan B, C, D, E, F, and all the because too. So we went to a very remote village, 2 hours away from Cusco. We tried to install, didn't work first day. We was very, very upset. You know, everything was failing. The rock making holes, big holes, very difficult to dig on the rock. And I was sitting down and I said, I cannot do it. It'll be the first time in my life where I really have to renounce because I cannot breathe. I cannot do it. And a kid came to me, in front of me. You know, when you bring the pieces of the playground, you put it around of you, the kids instantly are coming, they start to play. So it was kind of like 30 kids around. But we saw one of the kids was kind of afraid to play with the others, was kind of, ashamed. He had...
like really timid and just kind of withdrawn.
And he show up next in front of me, and he started to look at me, and I was mastic my cereal bar and drinking my Coca Zero, and I stopped eating, and I said, "Do you you're hungry?" Like a silly question for a kid like him, and he didn't understand me. So I realized that the kids don't speak Spanish. Everyone was speaking in Inca, actually Quechua. So a girl came and she said, "He is Jonathan, and he is the orphan from the little town." Orphan from the, I mean, like, I don't understand. So she explained me the situation, very hard. And I look at Rich, and he was like very nervous that we cannot complete the task. And I said, with all my powers I have, I will make this kid to have a different day. Normally, I'm very careful with kids. I don't have contact with them for precautions in many ways. But that day, I put him on my shoulders. I gave him Coke and cereal bar, and I said, "Jonathan, today you'll be the VIP." And the kids instantly, when they saw that Jonathan is on my shoulder, they came around. They start to scream, "Jonathan, Jonathan!" That means Jonathan conquered the gringo. He is the friend of the gringo, because they was kind of afraid about us in the beginning. We talk about a very remote village, no tourists, of course. It's not about Machu Picchu. And Rich become a little bit upset that we are focusing here, why you go there. And I said, this is a tough situation. And I start to walk with Jonathan on my shoulders, and he literally stopped to move around. And I said, "Jonathan, stop. I cannot carrying you. I have a surgery in my back, so please." He didn't understand me. So when I look up, I saw Jonathan trying to give part of his cereal bar to the kids. Um, that moment really crushed me, because it's a VIP moment for him, and from he was sharing with others, and I'm like, how is that possible? He had the whole right to eat everything, and he was sharing. He didn't was talking. He wasn't a leader. He wasn't a very educated kid, but he had a heart to give to others. And I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? And I said, I smell something here, but I don't see it. Thank God I didn't saw the whole, the, the whole, the whole way. But I knew that something will start from that moment. I follow the steps until his house was a cave, and I said instantly, we have to help him. Normally, I don't do that, because from the beginning, I have to find someone from the village to take care about that, not me, because if not, I confuse the people. But again, I broke another rule that I had, and I said to Rich, I explained him. He said, "Okay, we need to help the kid." So I think he makes some calls. So we received kind of like $200, something like that, and we bought clothes for him. Next day we come back, we give him the clothes, the best we had, Columbia jacket in all the brands that you guys know. But instantly I realized that the look of the other kids, when I was taking picture with him, all the kids around celebrating, they stopped to be that happy to him. Like, oh, okay, now he's fancy. He has American friends. So I realized that I broke an ecosystem that I have to fix it somehow. So I broke another law, and I promise, never promise something in Latin America that you after that you forget, or you never look back to fix it. And I tell them, I promise you, I will come back with shoes for everybody. And I remember Rich looked at me like, do you have money for that? And I said, no, I don't have any clue idea how to do it. But Jonathan don't have to be a target for them, because Jonathan was eating in many houses. So imagine going with fancy clothes, and how they will receive it. Like, go and find your gringos. So at that point, we realized that we have a new program, life-saving steps or happy steps. It's not about the movie Happy Steps. It's about the white shoes, because the kids was using sandals in the highest of the Andes. So it's frozen. They had a frozen skin on the food.
A lot
So
of frostbite issues
froze.
with their feet. Yeah.
Yes, and they are not just going to school; they are going to help carrying the animals, the alpacas and vicuñas. So they are walking miles every day. So the shoes are not like a gift shoes; it's the vehicle for them to educate, for education, and for work. So thank God we found someone that was donate $2,500, $2,500 to buy the shoes, to have a doctor, podiatrist that can help us. And I said, we have to give these shoes, not like, okay, throwing candies, is we want to show them that we are there to serve, not just to give gifts. And we start to wash the feet of the kids. Since that moment, Jonathan, we present Jonathan as the bridge, as the tool that God used to bring hope to the town, to be blessings, to receive blessings. But that was 2019, and 2020, we was waiting that the same person that was donating for the shoes will donate again, but they said no, and was in the middle of pandemic, and they said, I just want to give for the shoes, not for the food. And I said, we are in the middle of pandemic. Peru was locked down. I couldn't travel inside of the country. The schools was closed for 2 years. And I said, I cannot buy the shoes and send it to him. We need to send them to buy food. So they said no. So Rich told me, okay, I met someone knows people that eventually can send Bitcoin. I'm like, Rich, we don't have time for scammers and trading. We are here in the middle. I don't know what Bitcoin is. I mean, like, I don't understand why you say that. And he said, look, you don't know nothing about Bitcoin. Just start to read and educate yourself. And I'm like, in the middle of that, why should I start to think in trading? But when you literally start to understand what Bitcoin is, you instantly you stop to think just in, okay, the price, what the news says is like its entire world. So 2020 August, September was the first time when I really get into the first steps of Bitcoin, and the challenge was to buy basic baskets using Bitcoin. And I said, it's not a problem. It's not be a problem. Lima, 11 million person, of course, will be stores that accept Bitcoin. So I started to search in my laptop and didn't work. And I said, honey, can you give me your laptop, please? I think mine has a problem. The Wi-Fi is working. And I said, I don't find any store that accept Bitcoin. Maybe you can find it. She said, honey, are you okay? It's the same internet. No, maybe the browser is the problem. No, how is that possible? Okay, there is no one. So why there is no one? What's the answer? Simple, education. So what should I do? So all these steps was very interesting in the beginning. Now when I look back, I wish to have all the tools we have today in the conferences and the experience. But somehow I think God was working in my mind, in my emotions, in my brain, to understand that is a tremendous tool that we can use. I never thought that I would find a tool like this, never, because you never think about fiat, that it's a tremendous tool. It's just fiat. I mean, what can be more than just printed fiat? And was amazing. The whole steps, our first steps was, and in the beginning, so we start to buy Bitcoin. I remember we went to a store that the guy says, look, I'm in a crypto thing. I have vodka, whiskey. And I said, look, we're in the middle of pandemic. We cannot buy this crap. We need real food for the people. And he said, my supplier doesn't want me to. So what should I do? Okay, so I start to literally knock doors on the street, being a director of NGO. I mean, working with NGOs, they gave me a paper that can allow me to be on the street, working with different programs. So people that don't have.
Because everybody else was locked down and not let out of their house, but you had.
Yes, I was like Will Smith, in in the Legend movie Alone in New York. I was alone in Lima, no traffic. That was the best thing. And finally, we found a guy who was buying, accepting Bitcoin with shoes and basic baskets. So this is how we literally start in the middle of pandemia, using 2 masks, the face shield, and being in different places of Lima. So we cover Lima from north, actually from the last or the first, if you come from north, is where now it's the biggest port from Latin America, Chancay. It's built recently. So from north to south, God allowed us to cover the whole Lima, and then a little bit to help in Cusco and Iquitos. Iquitos, it's in the middle of the jungle, the biggest city in the world with no roads access. Is in the
So the only way to get in there is to fly in or out or by boat, correct?
Yes.
But it's like 1.5 million people.
In a million and 100,000.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
So a huge city, but no access.
Huge city, a very spread city, and
There's all kinds of mines and stuff all around it, right? That's like the jungle where they do a lot of mining.
No,
or
that's Puerto Maldonado.
Okay.
It's where the mines or gold mines are. In
Okay.
Iquitos, it's more about oil and in the past, the French and England was extracting caucho, one synthetic thing from the trees, and then you had the woods. Of course, you bring the whole woods from the Amazon, and in Cusco, yeah. So Iquitos, it's 1.5 hours flying from Lima. It's very easy to get there, but yeah, taking a boat, it's take like 3-4 days to get there. So in the middle of pandemia, we are using Bitcoin for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. But what the question was like, what should we do? I mean, like, this is just opportunity to buy something. And when we realized that this is more than just to make a transaction, that actually blow my mind. I never thought that I had the same feeling, like bringing education, bringing hope, financial inclusion. Imagine you have 70% from the economy of Peru under market, under table, black market. In the lockdown, people, they didn't have savings. The worst saving is just for rich people. It's to save 1 or 2 months to buy a new cell phone. That's the idea of savings in especially in Peru or Latin America. It's very difficult to find people that really save. So in the middle of pandemia, for many families, for thousands of families, that was the only income, and we realized that we was very blessed, and those who was donating and being part of us, really God was using them to be a tremendous tool and impact the country. So the question was, what now? The time was going, and they kind of start to hear about Bitcoin, and they saw, but they was a little bit confused in the beginning if this is a casino or a bet casa, house, a bet house that help the poor. And I said, actually, we are looking for people that don't have opportunity. For me, one of the definition of the poor, it's about people that don't have opportunity. It's not just someone who sit on the street and ask for a coin. people that really don't have opportunity, people that don't know to read or never been in a bank, or even for those who don't have an ID. These guys don't have opportunity to go and educate. And I remember Rich told me that he will have a trip to El Salvador, and he will eventually tell me more things about a project called Bitcoin Beach. And from the beginning, I was like, Bitcoin Beach, that sounds like a party. I was like, really? It's a bar or something? When he sent me the picture, I'm like, wow. There is some, I mean, we are not the only in the world that wants to do something with Bitcoin. And I remember that we was talking like 2 or 3 hours, and I'm like, wow, thank God we are not the only. And the tools that we was using in the beginning, imagine all the wallets, those big wallets. I don't want to mention it, that the fees was so high. I
Because you guys
was
were doing everything on chain.
everything
Yeah.
was chain, telling to the ladies make a transaction $25 for fee. I was like, every transaction I was like, I don't want to do the transaction because it's a ton of money.
Yeah, that was when there was a big fee spike right at that
Yes.
time too.
220, I mean, like, so long. And then when I discovered the Lightning and Bitcoin Beach wallet, which is Blink today, I say finally I found something that I can use, I can embrace as technology that really makes sense, not just, oh, I like it, the name or something. It makes sense and it's very practical. So we discovered not just tools, but vision, stories. I knew it, El Salvador, not from TV. I came here in 2016, 15 to 16, and I remember everyone was on fear, living on fear. They didn't let me to walk on the street to buy a newspaper. That was my desire. This is not a desire, something normal. They say we cannot allow you to do that. I came to Miramonte, the church in next to a big mall here in San Salvador, and they said no, you cannot walk on the street. So when Rich was telling me, look, now it's totally different, and I'm like, wow, really? So we start to use the wallet and educate people to buy the supplies and make the transaction using Blink. And we realized, okay, we are in Lima, but we was working also in Iquitos, in El Salvador, in Cusco. So the question was like, what should we do? Should we expand? Should we just sit in one place? And I said, I think it's not was from our part to buy different houses or something, centers, to buy centers in every place. And I said, we have to work in the community with the tools they have. If there is a school or if there is a house of someone or something. So embracing that vision, to have a wide vision, but in every place we were, to be little. This is one of the things that I think I learned from you guys, to be focusing when you are in community and something very specific. And we have two methods of working: events and programs. You can share about Bitcoin in events, doing like surf for all, surfing event, or soccer, or some feria, like a garage day or something, teaching. The stores are accepting Bitcoin, but starts at 10, 9 in the morning and finish at 4, and next day, what happening? And you need a program that every day the families can use Bitcoin. So it was amazing to see that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the moms, the family were using Bitcoin to pay for education, like after school, English class, kids club. But the question was like, what should I do? What should we do as nonprofit? Just giving the fish, or also embrace the education, entrepreneurship. So we opened the program Entrepreneurship for Everybody, teaching the people this tremendous tool that is Bitcoin, which through financial teaching, we was creating the way that we teach them how to planificate them incomings and also savings. Was taking a long time to teach that. But every year was a step forward. Of course, we had a lot of issues. Nothing is. First of all, it's patient. We learn to be patient. Never go to a community thinking that the first thing you can tell them, I have Bitcoin and you need Bitcoin, because they have a lot of emergencies where you need to put stop or not stop, pause for a second to make them to listen to you. It's so difficult because people has emergencies every day.
They're just trying to survive through the day.
Yes.
So what did you find was the best way to get them to take the time to start to understand Bitcoin?
First of all, when we get to a community, is to serve. We came from the beginnings with Jonathan. We hear the needs, and we understand that they are asking for this, but actually the problem is they don't have incomings. So they want a lot of stuff, but actually the problem is they don't know how to earn. So, and then we realized that the huge problem is the malnutrition for the children. And they said, okay, the kids need, I don't know, candies. They said, no, kids don't need candies. What type of food to give them? Rice and potatoes. Peru has 5,000 types of potatoes. So there are potatoes for over the world. So I said, no, that's not a balanced food. So we realized that we can start to teach them in a whole way how to handle, and through education, now we get to the financial. Okay, what are you using? Okay, I don't have bank account. I don't know how to read, to write. Okay, Bitcoin is decentralized. And when I said the first word, decentralized, okay, we are like Bitcoin. We don't have ID. We don't have bank account. Bitcoin, it's not part of them. They look around like a lot of communities embrace Bitcoin just because they understand that Bitcoin is not coming from a government. And at some point, most of them, they will never understand just sitting on the table and teaching them and give them a diploma. The diploma of Bitcoin, it's part of, but it's not starting and finished with that. I mean, the education in Bitcoin is not just giving them a diploma.
Yeah.
Making them to use every day, 6 days, 6 days per week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they will use Bitcoin. They are like, Bitcoin is so useful. Okay, how Bitcoin start? Who start Bitcoin? Why is so important? They want, when you make them to put those questions, you have open heart, open mind, open ears. Not from the beginning. They will never, when they see that Bitcoin is useful in them environment, in them reality, in them society, they are like, oh, wow, why I didn't know? It came from the government. Why didn't it? No, it's not coming from the government. Oh, it's printing in your house. No, it's not printing in the house. So it's very interesting that I said Motiv have to be a lab to be an example for others. On the jungle, on the styles on the mountains, or on the coast. Yes, in the beginning, I said if the tourists are on the left side, I will be in the right side. If the tourists are in the south, I will be in north. Not because I'm against the tourists, but I didn't want from the beginning to start where I think can work more easily. My problem is I like to complicate my life. So, so I said, okay, let's try in those places. If we have a 4x4 car, I will not try that car on the freeway. I want to put it on, off-road zone. And today I can say that after 3 years, we are ready to embrace the vision that, okay, we'll connect the communities, the remote communities, that they learn a little bit what Bitcoin is, how to use it every day, how the education it's important for them to earn, not just to ask for independent in a government or in an NGO, and connect them with those communities that really received millions of tourists. Peru, it's a country that really, had Machu Picchu, and Machu Picchu brings millions of tourists. Surfers are coming, even for the WLS or SL, WSLs.
World Surfing League.
And everyone knows also about the Amazon,
Yeah.
in the jungle, but most of them, Machu Picchu, Sacred Valley. So today I can say that, wow, being a Sacred Valley, people look me at the store, yeah, Bitcoin, interesting. I don't have this type of system. Teach me. And it's easy. Why? Not because it's so easy, but now you have the examples in other communities where I can tell them, look, I have a video for you. She's Lydia. Lydia, single mom. She never had a bank. She never had a smartphone, but she learned how to use technology. She learned how to sewing, and now she provides for the family. What? Using Bitcoin. Really? If she was using Bitcoin, you have thousands of tourists that passing here. So now our tourists that are stopping to few stores that accepted Bitcoin in the Secret Valley, and they took pictures not with the alpaca, not with the Bitcoin sign. So it's so funny because they said, we never thought that the tourists will stop the car just to take a picture with a Bitcoin thing,
sign.
not with alpaca. And,
Paco, I think we have some videos just to give people some context. I'll probably talk over them for people that are just listening to the podcast, so we don't, so they're not left in the dark. But yeah, so this is Machu Picchu, right?
Yeah, this is Pisac, next of Machu Picchu, the Secret Valley. Amazing places, very accessible. People are very warm, welcome you. The food, it's amazing. It's a high altitude, yes.
And this specific video was done, you guys, we'll talk about this at the end, but this is a project you have trying to encourage people to come travel in Peru, spend their Bitcoin there, and embrace these tourists like we were talking about.
Yes, this video we started launching the end of 2024, beginning of this year. The program Travel with Bitcoin that year is to invite those who want to surfing or having experience in Cusco, in Sacred Valley, and if they want to pay in Bitcoin, everything gets in Bitcoin. We connect them with travel agencies, and for those who have a little bit more time or disposable to visit some circular economy, they are very, very welcoming. We try in Chaco, where in the video was showing the widest wave in the world in Chicama. So next of Chicama, it's the village.
So just to clarify, when you say widest, you mean longest? It's the longest wave, the longest left-hand break, I think, in the world. Like, I think it's 3 miles that you ride this wave. So it's world-renowned, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know very much. I mean, I recently learned about that was the widest wave in the world. Everyone was talking to me about Chicama, and I'm like, Mancora, it's like in north next to Ecuador with warmer water, and I'm like, and they are like, no, it's Chicama. So actually, I've been in Peru for so long, and I didn't know that amazing place. So Huanchaco, it's the little town next to Chicama.
Okay.
So from Chaco, it's like 20 minutes with the car going to the beach, like very in the desert, and you have the wave for you. No one is there. It's great. And in Chaco, yes, you have waves, but it's more to having fun with friends and competitions. So we really want this year to to say that I think our base finally, it's like that couple that they meet each other 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and they're asking like what we are. We are like novios, like we want to marry it or something serious. So I think after 3 years and a half, I think we have to sit a little bit in one place and say that this can be our kind of base. I can say it at some point, and from the coast can be on the base, and then in Cusco, outreaching the communities. But Sacred Valley and Huanchaco, I think, are two bases that really can make a difference. And being circular, thinking that Bitcoin can be infused by tourists and those people. Of course, Lima, it's a city on the coast. You have nice view, nice waves, especially in south. There are like two places, Punta Negra, where surfers that was world champions came there to make training or something like that. But Huanchaco and Cusco, I think these are the two places where we literally.
So just to kind of oversimplify it, it's obviously much more nuanced, but just for the audience, what they've done, and because I've been down there to visit, me and Chimbera or Roman, we came down to visit the projects, and basically in over a dozen locations, Valley has set up where kind of similar to like a small version of a Hope House or something, and they have that center. They're doing education, they're doing Bible studies, they're doing nutritional work, they're doing a bunch of different things, and then integrating Bitcoin into all of this so that all of the supplies are being paid in Bitcoin, the staff are being paid in Bitcoin, the community members that they're reaching out to are being able to buy their stuff in Bitcoin. And so I think we have another video too, Paco, that so imagine like what we've done here at El Salvador, and then multiply it, and imagine trying to run these communities all over the country. So I don't know how Valley has the energy for it, but here's another video, and like the last one, I'll kind of talk over it a little bit. But this is up in the Inca area, correct?
Yes, this is the town of Owai, one of the first villages we outreach in Cusco, in Cusco zone. Amazing place, and this one is in south of Lima, called Quebrada Verde in Pachacama.
Okay, that's one of the ones that we went to visit, where you guys are doing some sustainable agriculture initiatives, and they're selling it in Bitcoin to the stores, who then are selling it in Bitcoin and paying their staff in Bitcoin. So.
And this is the wave in Chicama. We try that the video can show a little bit from different places, different reality. And this is Guayapata. This is again Lima. This is the north of Lima, Ancon, near of the biggest port in Latin America, Chancay. A place that will grow tremendous. Lima will grow tremendous now.
Yeah, and you guys are using the Blink wallet as kind of the primary wallet that you guys use in the project there.
Yes, Blink wallet simplify a lot our work, and as you mentioned, we have three pillars: physically, academically, and emotionally, spiritual. You can work a lot, educate people, and equip them to be entrepreneurs. But most of the moms and the kids, they can struggle with abuse and a lot of problems. So we are using a lot those times to take care about the emotion of the people. So we have Christian psychologists and visiting, mentoring. We have a small vehicle to walk into the mountains, and we called Inca Bitcoineta. And Inca Bitcoineta, and the tourists are stopping. I remember it was a couple from Japan, and they said, "No way, Bitcoin in Inca! Stop the car! Stop the car! We want to." And this image is from Tarapoto in the middle of the jungle. People are paying in Bitcoin to buy water. The water in the little town, it's very, very bad quality. And 3 times per week they pay with Bitcoin, and they buy water. Tarapoto, it's an interesting place in the jungle. Some of the people ask me about ayahuasca and all that stuff. There is a place there. And this is surf for everybody. Surf para todos.
You guys kind of modeled this after the program that they're doing at Hope House.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hope House inspired us how to choose the programs and adapt it, because of course you have to adapt everything you have. This is one entrepreneur in Juan Chaco, and the message of them is, thank you for believing us. This is one of the things that Peruvians need to understand, that Bitcoin, what we do is bringing hope. It's not just about the branding of Motiv or something. Actually, we try to be as most low profile as possible, and yes, we need to be more low profile possible, but at some point we work with kids and teens, so people have to know us.
Yeah.
So one of the secret is not just to have passion to serve, not just to have good gadgets and apps, but to be surrounded by leaders that really can embrace the vision you have and have this transparency and the passion. Of course, an imperfect leader is surrounded by imperfect person with great God, and with a perfect God and tremendous tool. I think this is, and this young man, he's the principal serving on the bar in Juan Chaco. So it's a big place called Bar Juan Chaco. It's the first place that accepts Bitcoin in the beach of Juan Chaco, and the owner of that place, he said, "Look, whatever you want to have here, like a Copa Bitcoin or something, just come and I can give you the spot. It's very nice. It's near of the beach." People in the beginning, they thought that we are just a bet, in Juan Chaco, a bet sponsor or something like that. But then when
Like a betting website?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they said, "Where should I put my fiat? Where should I?" I'm like, "We are not the bet. But why you are here? I mean, like, what do you gain?" And I said, "Okay, you ask me, I will answer. I'm not pushing me to tell you my story." In El Cerro de la Virgen, like up on the hill, there is a called Cerro de la Virgen. We have there a lady that is serving the families, the children around there, more than 15 families. And they use Bitcoin to educate. "Oh, wow, we want to see it." Nice. Go and see it. It's yours. So I didn't came here first to do show. I came here to help. And they said, "Look, I can open the door." So that was the first day, the beginning. So yeah, like here are the locations in Pisa, Kauai, Juan Chaco, Cusco Ciudad, Lima, and then Juan Chaco, Tarapoto, and Iquitos.
And Peru is a huge country. So those of you who can see the map, it's hard to. When we're talking, you definitely have to fly in between these. They're not driving distance at all. What really kind of struck me was how many distinct different communities you were having like an impact in. That it was because you have El Salvador's kind of all one. It's basically a monoculture here, and in Peru you have very different cultures, and so you're wrestling not only with like the logistics of distance, but dealing with people that don't even speak the same language, have very different cultures. So it's been pretty remarkable to see what you guys have done. For for those who want to like see videos, and I definitely encourage you to do this because it's remarkable and the scenery is great. Joe Nakamoto and Paco de la India came and spent a significant amount of time with Valley and did a lot of great video clips that you can find, on Twitter or YouTube or other, kind of platforms. And then also Julian and Isabella, who does BTC Island and does a lot of stuff with Bitcoin Magazine. They did a kind of a documentary about the project there that I'm trying to remember the name of it. What is the name of it? Do you remember?
They came, I think, last year.
Yeah, but do you remember the name of the documentary that they? I'm blanking on it right now.
Discovering Peru or something like
Yeah.
that. They was very shocked. I remember when we went to Iquitos and we had the Christmas program with more than 3,000 people there. They was like, wow, we should do this. Events is bringing a lot of people. It's different in the program.
Yeah.
Program, you use the same families. You have to choose which families. But yeah, it was a very dynamic video because they went like in 4 days. They make it so fast, and it was crazy with Isabella. She's so funny, and she's Peruvian, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought that she is American. Latino parents, but no, she's a Peruvian.
Yeah, she was born in
she's
Peru.
Born in Peru. And it was very interesting that Julian, actually, the father of Julian, is Peruvian.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And I'm like, really? And you don't know? Yes, my dad, he's Peruvian. He came to Canada a long time ago, and I met him. I have this honor to meet his dad, and was very, very interesting how a Romanian came to Peru and we are in another country. And I said, well, no one is profiting his own land, we are there to add our seeds, and it was very, very fun. And Paco, wow, with Paco, we was getting to a corner, everyone knew Paco, imaging, and with Joe, very, very interesting experience. And we learned a lot from Joe. Joe teach us a lot of things in media at that time. So
yeah. No, I would encourage people to go out and check out those videos because it's pretty remarkable what you guys have done. Obviously, with the amount of work you guys are doing, we could be here 15 hours to cover the 15 projects. So we'll try to wrap this up. But I want to kind of leave people with how can they follow you? How can they follow what's happening with Motiv? How can they support you guys? What are the different things, the resources that you would kind of tell people to turn to keep up on the amazing work you guys are doing?
Mainly, the way you can search about us is in Twitter, in X, Motiv Peru. We post there a few of the things. We try to be as most active possible. Unfortunately, we was hacked from many sides, through other social medias also. And of course, those who really wants to come and have fun and enjoy the travel to Bitcoin. By the way, we didn't transform in a travel agency. We just connect people with the travel agency, very professionals. We work with the fourth or fifth travel agency from Cusco. They are super professionals accepting Bitcoin from.
So it's one of the biggest travel agencies in Cusco.
They have hotel, they have transportation, food, all the facilities, and very, very transparent and honor people.
And they can pay all in Bitcoin to do it all.
All in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's more the guide, Joe said, look, I want to tip you, and when I come back, I want to show me, you have to show me that you saved. And that guide, the tour guide, he talked to me every month. Look, the money that the sats that Joe was sending to me, it's growing. So he was so excited. One of the first guy that really, not just, okay, I'm saving in Bitcoin and whatever. He's exciting. He keeps saying that, like, guys, you have to save in Bitcoin. I'm like, wow, he's just saying save Bitcoin. It's sats. It's amazing. So yeah, that's the way we try to connect people with the tourists, potentially tourists, with the tourism agencies, travel agencies, and then of course, if you have questions, you can write us on Twitter. We are very welcome to connect you with the communities. Are people that say, okay, I understand you as NGO, associate. I want to go directly to see, to talk. We connect you directly.
Yeah.
It's not just passing everything through me. Actually, I want to mention it. Behind me, there is a tremendous team. People that really embrace the vision, serving Peruvians, local Peruvians. I have from orphans through professionals, people that work in social care, and professionals in tourism. And I try to really rise a generation of Peruvians to understand that I have potential. They don't know that the country has potential for that. They always wait that something come from the sky, but I said, you guys have everything here: fruits, oil, industry. Other country doesn't have even half of what you guys have. So to be proud of, you are Peruvian. Don't have to be fake humbling or misunderstood humbling. And that's why we are there. And anyone who wants to know about what we do, or if anyone wants to hear our story and give tips or idea how to start your own circular economy, thinking outreaching the small communities, we are very welcome to share with them our experience.
Awesome. Well, definitely encourage everybody. Make sure you're following Motiv Peru on Twitter. There's also Motiv Global that's looking to do this on a more of a global scale. Right now, they're just focused on Peru, but I think long term, that's the goal. And then, yeah, get down and visit, because it's pretty remarkable. It's definitely remarkable.
Yes, thank you for having me, Mike. It's been nice to remember the beginnings, and thank you for being an example for us. Thank you for invest you guys the time in this new generation. And since 2021 and now, when I'm here in 2025, I can see this all the growth that you guys made. Difficult journey, not easy, but with the passion, and to see that God is leading the steps, it's giving peace.
Yes.
So thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Valley.